answers? I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
All right. Sad news coming from the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. I drove this bridge not once, not twice, but many times over. And to say that I'm not even scared to go across this bridge is an understatement. I'm saying that it is real cringe to drive across that bridge. But unfortunately, it is tragic that Mr. Ronnie Andrews, a 61-year-old veteran truck driver, unfortunately, he didn't make it home to his family on Sunday. See, crashes on this bridge ends up in the water. See, that has become a pattern since the 80s. At least 15 trucks have gone over in the water, with 3 within the last few years. So as you guys already know about the story of the Perdue Farms truck driver who lost his life after crashing into a guardrail on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge-Tunnel. It happened around 6:30 Sunday morning near the North Channel Bridge on the south side. Mr. Andrews, the driver, was from North Carolina. He has a wife. He has a family. His wife described him as a wonderful husband, a wonderful man who loved life, who loved his family and friends. She said he was kind and compassionate, adding that she hopes that people will remember him for the way he treated the people. He always went out the way to help other people when they needed. He would help them. He would be there for them. The type of driver that would give the shirt off his back. It is sad. May he rest in peace. The crews got there fast, but unfortunately, he was pronounced dead at the scene. Being an accident of that magnitude is going to always shut down all lanes on that bridge for the repairs that needed to get that bridge back open. Now, as I said before, this situation been going on since the 80s. But this is the 3rd time that a tractor trailer went over into the water since 2020. Drivers, you got to let that sink in a little bit because it sinks in with me all the time just to hear it. When you hear single vehicle crashes, most people just shrugged it off and move on. But as for us drivers, we don't. See, we feel it. Every crash, every accident. It touches us in a way that it's trying to make us a little bit more conscious in driving out here. Now, I know that stretch. I know what it feels like. It's long, it's exposed, and wind cutting across back and forth open waters. See, driving that bridge, there is no room for mistakes. Now, as I said in the opening, I drove that bridge before. When I hit that stretch, man, listen, I slow it down. Not panic slow, controlled slow. I don't care what's behind me. I don't care about the clock. I'm watching the wind. I'm watching the mirrors. I'm watching how my trailer feels behind me. See, when you can feel that crosswind, you can feel when that crosswinds start pushing your trailer. It doesn't take much, especially on light loads, and much more especially when you're empty. See, you cannot be tired going over that bridge, though. You can't. You cannot be distracted on that bridge. You cannot be thinking about your dispatcher, your next load, your home problems, or what somebody said to you on the phone. You have to be locked in because once you start to drift, that's it. See, that bridge, there's no shoulder like a normal highway. There's just water on the right of you and water on the left of you. And then the only thing that you can call a little protection is the guardrail. And sometimes, as we could see since the 80s, that the guardrail isn't enough. People who don't drive trucks don't understand how wind hits a trailer, how wind affects a trailer. See, they think weight equals stability. That's not always the case. A strong crosswind on the bridge like that can move a trailer inches at a time. You can correct it, but it pushes you again. And then you correct it again. Add speed to that, add fatigue to that, add the moment that you decide to take your eyes off the road. Now you're fighting physics. And physics, I'm about to tell you right now, don't care if you're a veteran driver or a rookie driver or however long you've been driving. See, as I mentioned earlier, this is the third incident at the same location since 2020. And again, it's been a pattern since the 80s. Now you got to start thinking to yourself, when something keeps happening in the same spot, you got to take the time and ask the hard question. Is it the wind? Is it the design and guardrail strength? Is it early morning fatigue? Is the driver trying to maintain highway speed on an exposed span? Or is it all of the above? See, let me tell you something about early morning runs, right? Because those runs right there can be dangerous. 6:30 a.m. sounds early, but for a lot of us drivers, that could be the end of a long shift. Your body wants to sleep. Your reaction time drops. Your eyes start blinking slow and start zoning out. You think you're fine, but you're not. And bridges over open water don't forgive almost fine. They don't. Again, I read about this plenty of times over. Drivers going over the same bridge. And again, when you see repeat incidents at that same structure, now you can't ignore it. Either something about that stretch is unforgiving or drivers is just underestimating it. Or maybe they could be doing both. See, this brings up something that nobody likes to say. And sometimes we get a little bit too comfortable. You run something once, twice, 10 times over, nothing happens. You start running it like any other road. Same speed, same mindset. And that's when it catches you. So let me break it down for you. Wind plus vehicle speed is a real factor. You might be doing the posted speed limit, but when there's crosswinds pushing 30, 40 miles per hour across open water, that's not normal highway conditions. That's a different situation right there, drivers. And here's the part that really hits hard for me. This man, this truck driver, this veteran truck driver, Mr. Andrews, he went to work Sunday morning and unfortunately didn't come home. He wasn't just some headline, right? He was a CDL veteran driver with family, bills, responsibilities. He was hauling freight so somebody else's shelves could stay stocked. Now his family, unfortunately, have to deal with the knock at the door, the phone call from Perdue Farms. And let me just pause for a minute, right, and talk about Perdue Farms.
Hold on.
So, of course, Perdue Farms released a statement, right? And it got me to thinking when they released that statement. How do you really feel, company? Because some companies don't even have a way to even get that driver back to his family. They said in a statement that they offering condolences and confirming they are completely cooperating fully with the investigation. And that's it. That's all they got. That's all they got to spare right there. That's it. They don't have nothing else to spare on that. All we doing is cooperating with the investigation. We're sorry. And unfortunately, they're going to move on. They're going to move on. They're a $1 billion company. They're not just going to stop operations for one driver. But let's turn our attentions to the infrastructure, right? We could talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that, right? We could talk about the safety design. We could talk about the driver responsibility. All of that matters. But here at my level, the driver level, here's my reality. Slow down. on bridges, on exposed bridges. Pay attention to the wind advisory. Don't run tired. If the trailer feels unstable, adjust. If conditions feels off, respect that feeling. Because as we always say in trucking, there's no load worth your life. I don't care if it's Perdue. I don't care if it's Amazon. I don't even care if it's a hot load paying top pay. None of that matters if you don't make it across that water. And for the companies and the state, if this is like the third similar crash in the same location since 2020 and more before that since the 80s, there needs to be serious review. Maybe the guardrails is not working. Maybe you might want to build a fence now. Something a little bit stronger. Maybe a little concrete barrier. Something. Maybe put wind monitoring system on there. Maybe a digital warning system. Maybe speed control during high winds. Something. Now, as I told you guys before, I did drove that bridge. And there are speed limits that change constantly. It changed from 45 all the way down to 20. I've seen it. But it gotta be something more that can be done. Now, that infrastructure right there is a main part of the roadway. The tunnel going on to the bridge. It is no way that they can like literally shut it down and reroute it because they can't. That's a main artery roadway. But something got to be thought of. Maybe raise it up a little bit. Something. Because you had 3 trucks since 2022 and about 15 since 1980s. The patterns of all of this, they are warnings. This industry, people, is already dangerous enough. We face long hours, tight deadlines, weathers, four-wheelers cutting us off all the time. And now add the elevated bridge with open crosswinds. See, as drivers, we have to respect the road. But the road also needs to respect the reality that there are tractor trailers that goes across them every day. My heart goes out to this driver's family. And to every driver that's out there who runs that stretch, listen, don't just treat that like another mile marker, man, because it's not. Drivers, you got to slow it down. You got to stay focused. And by any means necessary, make it home.